is about. But I know for that organization, it wasn't something that they were.
Oh, y'all.
I don't know.
I guess. How you doing? A little late night.
Late night, early morning.
How does it feel getting back into the swing of things?
Oh, grind don't stop. Hustle don't stop.
Grind don't sleep, and neither does Jessica Benson,
No.
apparently.
I was laying there last night trying to fall asleep after the exhilaration of Grizzlies Mavs. I tried everything. I'm in this new stage where I'm trying military sleep exercises.
What?
Yeah, like various things that they use in the military to, when they have limited time to sleep, they're guaranteed fall fast asleep. They're not working on me. Last night I
you're
tried.
not stressed and fighting for your life.
Speak for yourself.
You have a different set of exhaustion.
Speak for yourself.
All right, go
I
ahead.
tried one last night where you pick a 4-letter word.
Okay.
It's like mood. And then you come up with 4 words for each letter. So like 4 M words, 4 O words, 4 other O words, and then 4 words that start with a D. And then you take D and you come up with a 4-letter word that starts with a D, and you do it over and over again. I did like 20 rounds of that, and I was still laying there.
I've started taking ashwagandha. Maybe
Excuse me?
Ashwagandha. Maybe
Is that
you should
legal?
look. I think it is.
Okay.
They sell it at the Costco. So
Oh, well, if
maybe,
they sell it at the Costco.
maybe you should look into that. But I take it does a lot of things that are helpful.
The people
It
are
helps
talking
with
a lot
sleep.
about magnesium. Is that like a sister of magnesium?
They're all melatonin, magnesium.
Okay.
Well, melatonin is an actual hormone, I do believe. But magnesium, ashwagandha, zinc has some of those properties that help with sleep. The difference, and they all do things a bit differently. Ashwagandha is a mood stabilizer also.
Oh.
So it helps with anxiety. If you, I don't know if you're suffering from any of that, but it
Me?
could help. Yes, you.
Me?
It could help with that as well.
Did you know that melatonin like gave me anxiety?
Oh, word?
I tried when we first started doing this little show. I was like, I'm gonna take melatonin.
Really?
And then I was having panic attacks from the melatonin.
Try Laganda. The wife is built
I like the
similarly.
sound of it.
The wife is built similarly to you, and she loves the Ganda.
All right. We'll try the Gonda in the new year. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, January 7th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, it was ugly at the beginning, but the Grizzlies got a win, their first home win of 2025, first win of 2025. We'll have highlights. We'll have reaction from last night against the Mavs. Mike Wallace will join us about 20 minutes in to continue to talk Grizz, talk some trade rumors, the works, and then Will Coleman, former Memphis Tiger, he joins us every Tuesday to talk about the Tigers. They're off to a 2-0 start in AAC play. We will talk to him about that. We'll end with a little TV Tuesday, some Golden Globes leftovers and engagement, what we are watching. CJ watched the new season of Squid Games. I finished Shrinking. We'll get into all that. We will continue to make it through our week. You know what they say. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
It's not Christmas anymore.
It's
You
always
can't
Christmas.
do that.
It's always Christmas.
No.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take 3! Take 3!
Bane for 3. Bingo! This man Bane.
Heating it up.
Blocked by Jaron.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Ring in the new year at Southland Casino Hotel to win your share of over $100,000 in free play, cash, or a 2025 Lexus. On New Year's Eve, we're turning up the energy with incredible entertainment. Dance the night away to the beats of DJ Epic, Jerome Chisholm and the M-Town Band, and an electrifying performance from Troy Laz. There's only one place to win when the clock strikes midnight, Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700. Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic last year. Tonight you'll watch him coach at Michigan. So why do I care if a football player decides to leave one place where he's making whatever money to go somewhere where he's making even more? It's what most coaches do every year. So I cannot stand it, and I mean can't stand it when the coaches sit up there and act like these young people are doing something wrong.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
For the sunshine, gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. CJ, I woke up with a thin layer of snow on my car. And by thin layer, I mean like it was in the cracks of the window.
You could count the snowflakes on your car. That's not a layer.
No.
That's not a layer. If you took your time, I guarantee you could go through there 1, a 2, a 3.
No.
Like you could count.
No,
like
I could have taken a snow scraper and felt effective in doing like a whoosh off of it.
But it's not. You could just use your hand for that. Like if we,
sure I could.
Jacob, if you could show the roof over there on the outside going towards Bill Street.
Like.
Yeah, we can go out there and count the snow on that roof. It might take us 45 minutes or so. Yeah, like zoom in on that roof if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But like we can count there were more people, I feel confident in this. There were more people in attendance in FedEx Forum last night
than there are
snow on that roof.
Roof.
There's no way there was 14,000, there's 14,000 or 15,000 flakes on that roof.
Well, I had multiple people come up to me yesterday. I promise I had a point with the snow because I was just surprised. Multiple wonderful fans at FedEx Forum who asked me, if it snows on Friday, will you and CJ still have a show Friday morning? I said, us? Of course. We are the essential workers of Grind City Media, and we will be here. But I am already starting to hear the people who are planning their work from home days on Friday. I've got some little jealousy going on.
Pretty sure
I hope it doesn't snow one bit. I hope you all end up in the office.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm finna put in my time off request.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. I'll be here pushing the buttons.
You're welcome.
I'll be walking through the ice and the snow. But we have days until we get to that. We just have a dusting on the roofs here in Memphis today.
I know we got to get to this Grizzlies game because it was incredible last night. What a win for the Grizzlies, for the short-handed Grizzlies last night. Have you been to the grocery store? Do I need to go to the grocery store today?
So I thought that this morning, too. The number of people who mentioned it last night at the game made me think, gee, I should probably go and stock up on some extra supplies at the grocery store.
We grocery shop once a week.
It's Sunday.
We buy a week's worth of, ours is Friday. We buy a week's worth of food. The snow hits on
Friday. You should go.
The snow hits on Friday, and it's just like, oh gosh. All right,
I've got at least one frozen pizza in the.
But what if the power goes out? No disrespect to MLGW, they're not the most reliable when it gets cold and snowy out. talked to the custodian lady up here. She said she went to the Kroger in Fraser.
Yeah.
Out of damn near everything. Said the only meat they had a little bit of chicken and a few pork chops. It's like, oh, don't tell me that. That means there's absolutely no bread or milk in the city.
Well, if you think the upcoming weather we have in Memphis is tough, there's little tiny rumblings. It's not an actual rumor. I think it was one person. I think it was Dan Wolken who said there's a 0% chance that the Cotton Bowl could face some sort of like necessary movement, because when it snows in Texas, it's similar to when it snows in Memphis. Everything shuts down and nobody knows what to do. And then my friends in Los Angeles were telling me that today they're supposed to have an insane windstorm, and they have been warned of deadly winds. You know, so there's just weather all over the place. But don't worry, we weathered the storm. The Grizzlies weathered their own storm last night at FedEx Forum. And if you survived the first quarter and a half of watching Grizzlies Mavericks, you may be entitled to compensation. But a win is a win, so let's hit the highlights. Grizzlies, first home game of 2025, new year. Same Jourdain Jackson Jr., unguardable. I will spare you the first 19 minutes of Grizz Mavs and pick it up when the Grizzlies did. Went down 12, but a 12-0 run. Gonna make the math. Luke Kennard, a part of it. Corner three. Pulls them within 3. Tie game. Jay Huff, voted most likely to swerve and bend that corner. Oh, LiAngelo wrote a banger. I don't care what you say. Grizz would lead at halftime. More Jourdain Jackson Jr. feels like a very healthy New Year's resolution. Maxey had minimum for Jourdain. Grizzlies would go up double digits in the third quarter. John Conchar with one of the team's 11 steals. Got a split like Ben and Jen. The finish. Conchar's 13 rebounds won't show up in the highlights, but talk about him. Fourth quarter, Grizzlies up 6. Scottie Pippen Jr.'s face was bleeding, but the hustle don't stop. Had 11 of his 18 points in that fourth quarter. Mavs without Luka and Kyrie, but the Grizzlies down 6 bodies of their own, and they find a way. Jalen Wells and 1. 3-point play would get the Grizz back up 10. The rookie had his first double-double last night. And call 800-588-2300. Vote Jourdain Jackson Jr. for All-Star. 35 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Vote for him. Go ahead, put a J Huff dagger on this one, and the Grizz go on to win 119-104. CJ, I didn't think there was any way possible the Grizzlies were going to win a game by 15 points last night, given the way the festivities began. But a nice win for an undermanned Grizzlies team against an undermanned Mavericks team. Gnarly first quarter. Just a gnarly first quarter and a half of basketball.
By gnarly, you mean tough, rough to watch?
Gross.
Oh, gosh.
Nasty, but not in the good way.
No, nasty.
It's the real bad way.
Bad meaning bad, not bad meaning good.
I mean, we got 2 minutes of Yuki Kawamura in the first quarter because they needed anything.
I think the game turned when Yuki came in. Right?
See, we are on different opinions of that. I think the game turned when Jay Huff and Luke Kennard, that stretch, along with Jourdain Jackson Jr., realizing, oh, it's another night. None of these million Mavs bigs can guard me. I'm going to consistently go at the basket and do so successfully. And then that run with Kennard hitting a couple threes. Jay Huff had the move to the basket. He hit a 3 that gave them the lead going into the half. That felt like the real changer. But the Yuki moment was a moment.
I think yes, that happened. And that's the actual, like, you can watch that and know, oh, okay, they're back. They're dialed in right now. They were stagnant. There was too much dribbling. They weren't playing fast. That ball wasn't moving. And I feel like throwing Yuki in for just a minute and a half, 2 minutes, however long he played, it got them back, like, playing the ball that they wanted to be playing and need to be playing if they're going to be contenders in the Western Conference, right? When Yuki comes in, after watching that team, I forget what the minute mark is he comes in, that team was over dribbling. People were over penetrating and getting stuck. Bad passes abound. Yuki comes in, and it's not even a thought. Yuki's sprinting the entire time. The ball touches Yuki's hand, and he's getting rid of it immediately. He already knows. Ball's coming this way. Up, swing, up, swing, up, dribble by, right there. And so it got everybody back playing fast. Yeah. And then once everybody started playing fast, that is what then allowed Kennard, Huff, and possibly more importantly, Jourdain, to go out there and say, okay, we're back playing fast. This is the way we need to do things, and this is what we have offensively, the advantages that we have. It also...
They got more physical on defense, too. The Mavs were getting whatever they wanted.
It didn't hurt things other than Gafford. That Gafford went out. like Gafford going out was a big loss for the Mavericks as well. So, yeah, they got more physical defensively. They started playing much faster on offense, stopped the over-dribbling, started sharing more. And then it's just, I'm sure we'll talk about him in depth. But Jaren Jackson Jr. offensively is someone who can't be guarded right now in the NBA. And you have that type of a weapon on your team. Once you decide to feed him, that third quarter was huge. It was huge for the Grizzlies. Jaren ended up with, 13 points in that quarter? It was incredible to watch. Jaren has it going on all of his various offensive moves right now. Jaren was killing them going left. I was thinking eventually you got to just say, hey, F this, stop Jaren from going left. PJ Washington did stop Jaren from going left. What did he do? Just spun back right and finished. Like, there's nothing you can do with that right now. Jaren is playing remarkable basketball.
That version of Jaren is what we've been calling all NBA season for Jaren Jackson Jr. I did see that Ja this morning tweeted out Jaren for All-Star. He retweeted highlights of Jaren last night, said All-Star. And then Yuki's putting in the work now, CJ, because we saw the early returns on what Yuki was capable of doing for the G League Next Man Up voting, where the Memphis Hustle are all over the top rankings for those fan votes, thanks to the wonderful fan base of Yuki Kawamura. And so Yuki said, let's vote. And Ja said, y'all heard Yuki. And I'm saying, y'all heard us talking about Yuki, so now go vote for Jaren Jackson Jr. It was fun to see even last night. Jalen Wells was the walk-off interview here. And so many just small pieces of contribution, because listen, it can't just be Jaren. When everybody is out, you can rest a lot on Jaren, and his 35 points certainly are the biggest reason why the Grizzlies were able to win that game against the Mavs, and why they are in a position where they can still win games despite being without Ja Morant, despite being without Desmond Bane last night, who's now dealing with an ankle sprain. So they're down two of their big three, plus Marcus, plus Vince, plus Gigi, plus Santi Aldama. But the up and down the roster contributions in different ways, even when it wasn't scoring. Like Jalen Wells had his first double-double. He had a career-high 11 rebounds last night, how he was active on the board. The 13 rebounds from John Conchar last night. The man's name is John. Somebody said, call him Windex, because all he does is clean the glass. And I'm putting that one in my pocket for when there is a rebounding highlight to use at some point. But it was an impressive, for being such an ugly, terrible, horrible, no good, very, very bad 1.5 quarters to start this game. It's nice to get a win on the home court. It's nice to get a win over a Western Conference opponent. And it's nice to not be as down bad as the Mavs, who I believe are now 0-5 when both Luka and Kyrie miss a game for them this season. And at this point, the Mavs are like 1-8 against the Grizzlies all time when Luka doesn't play. Luka hasn't played a lot against the Grizzlies over the course of his career. So if you came to see the Luka and Kyrie show last night, sorry, too bad, so sad. My dad's in town. He's in the studio. What's up? He is staying over in the general vicinity of the hotel where the Mavs stayed. He said there were like 50 people out there waiting for the bus yesterday. And Kyrie didn't make the trip. So
Did
the
Luka
kids were
make the
sad.
trip? I didn't see Luka either.
I didn't see Luka either, but I just saw officially. Because Kyrie's now out for what they're saying, 1 to 2 weeks, dealing with a back injury.
So I'm not sure what's going on over there. Jaren playing like an all-NBA player, and that matters. Jacob and I were talking about this, other Jacob, before the show. Like, Jaren make all-NBA. That's a Supermax player. That's Supermax Jackson right there. And so now how the front office moves as far as players go on, currently on roster and acquiring players, that is going to absolutely change. Because you're telling me, how old is Jaren? 23? You getting that version of that guy? And he still hadn't hit his prime yet. Yeah, you're going to give that the Supermax and hold on to him. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And to your point about other players stepping up, yeah, other players have to play their roles. The stars have to carry you, and Jaren's been carrying them the entire time. Not to say that role players like a Jalen Wells or Conchar or
Jay Huff was big last night.
Right,
Kennard hit a couple big threes.
You're going to need those players in moments, not for the entire moment. You'll need Jaren the entire series. You get to a 7-game series with somebody, you'll need big games, plural, from him the entire time. Those other guys, if you get a big quarter or two here or there, you'll be all right, because you're resting on the Jaren of it all, and throw in Ja and Dez to an extent as well. I thought that Taylor Jenkins getting those guys back refocused after that abysmal first quarter, that could have been a game that the Grizzlies just said, we don't got anybody, let it get away. I think that Taylor Jenkins getting them back focused in is a testament to his coaching chops. I also think that Taylor Jenkins this season has had a lot of tough conversations with some pretty prominent dudes on this roster, thinking after last night about Luke Kennard. Brevin Knight mentioned it on the podcast. Luke Kennard wasn't playing at all. And then you had the sickness, and there were some other things going on. I can't really remember, but I know there was a sickness that kept him out for a while. And Taylor Jenkins had to sit down and have an uncomfortable conversation with Kennard, just like he had to sit Marcus Smart down. And those are the two that we know about, and have uncomfortable conversations with Marcus Smart about coming off the bench. He had that conversation with Luke Kennard, and then you look up here in the past, 5-6 games, Luke Kennard has looked way better. This is the best Luke Kennard has looked in a Grizzlies uniform since the Grizzlies went out and acquired him. I think that, too, is a testament to the coaching job that Taylor Jenkins is doing this season.
I think one of the best things from last night, also, outside of Jaren's performance and the Grizzlies getting a win over a Western Conference team, they now go back above 500 against Western Conference teams, 11-10 against the West this season. It also sets up a very fun matchup on Thursday against the Houston Rockets. You get Dylan Brooks, you get Steven Adams, the battle between Steven Adams and Zach Edey that will feed families. Edey had a tough game last night, not his best, but an opportunity to come back against one of the former, like the person that you were drafted to be a better version of and replace because it was a necessity with this team of the skill set that Steven Adams provided, and now you are looking for it in Zach Edey. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also very curious if there is a chance that Ja could at least be
Wasn't he? I feel like
he
I
was
saw
getting
him,
shots
saw
up
him
before
getting
the
shots
game.
up before the game. I was like, oh, Ja's playing. Cool.
He was getting shots up before the game, and Taylor Jenkins said his injury at this point is considered short-term versus long-term.
Any concern with Edey guarding those types of bigs, those more athletic, higher jumping bigs?
Yes.
And how many of those are on playoff contenders? Right. So the Mavs have two of them.
I'm looking straight ahead right now for this next matchup, and I think it's indicative of, I would assume, and you know what they say when you assume, so don't do it, but perhaps Edey comes off the bench because Steven Adams comes off the bench. You don't want Edey going up against Şengün necessarily.
Okay. He's not Gafford or Lively type athletic.
Well, Lively's more athletic than Gafford, but Gafford's pretty athletic himself. That's a big loss for the Mavs now to be without Luka, Kyrie, and they said Gafford's going to miss some time because that ankle rolled.
How many of those, like, would you consider Rudy Gobert in that, where all they're going to do is hang around the rim and catch lobs, like legitimate lob threats? Şengün isn't a lob threat, is he?
Let's talk to Mike about it.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll talk to Mike Wallace about it when we come back. Grizzlies take down the Mavs 119-104. They are now 24-13 on the season, just right behind the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference standings. Mike Wallace will continue the Grizzlies conversation when we come back.
I can't wait to see what your number one. If that's your number two.
Number one for me.
Come on, man.
I listen to the Bells, Luther Vandross. I love Luther Vandross's Christmas album.
I gotta go back and listen to that one, man. I'm sure I've heard it.
To the Bells and they made me remember. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning into HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
How about them Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time to catch up with Grind City Media senior editor Mike Wallace. And Mike, the Grizzlies get a 119-104 win over the Dallas Mavericks last night. How would you describe last night's win?
Therapeutic.
Therapeutic.
Yes, therapeutic. I think that in many ways, physically and mentally, because I think coming off the road trip the way that the Grizzlies did with those back-to-back losses in the Bay Area, Sacramento, and then Golden State, in the manner in which you lost them with the personnel that was either there or not there on both sides, it kind of left that 5-game, 10-day, 11-day trip. You kind of came back with a dud. And, you needed to come back with especially against a team that was lacking their two, primary superstars in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You couldn't let that team mess around and beat you at home. If that would have happened on the heels of those other two losses, this show this morning would have been you would have been giving therapy to a lot of Grizz fans if that was the case. So, it was therapeutic, and I think it was another cog in in Jaren Jackson Jr.'s All-NBA campaign, and I think that was what it came out of that game last night.
This version of Jaren Jackson Jr. has been consistent. It has been dominant. He has been unguardable multiple nights in this league, and last night certainly a piece of that. Just how much has he raised the ceiling of what this team is capable of this season? Obviously, the expectations were already high, but having to deal with the injuries that the Grizzlies have had to deal with, how has Jaren, not single-handedly, it's a team effort, but with his presence allowed this team to stay above water, while a team like the Mavericks, down its 2 stars, are sincerely struggling?
I mean, I'll defer to what Taylor Jenkins said last night after the game. When I asked him, what does this mean for the franchise, but also just for this team when you see Jaren Jackson Jr. night in and night out, for the most part, lift you up and deliver these kind of opportunities. And what Taylor said was that this is a testament to the hard work that Jaren has put in the offseason. This is the testament to the leadership, his ability to be, sort of affable with the teammates that he has, but also assertive in moments when he needs to be assertive. Physically, he is far stronger right now than he's ever been in his career. He knows that there's not a guy in the league that can stop him one-on-one. So the question is, how do you want to play chess with Jaren Jackson Jr.? Is he going to be able to make the read out of the double team? Is he going to be able to still exploit, different matchups every single night? And for the most part, he's done that. He had one dud. You got to give him, again, Jourdain wants to hold himself to the highest standard of accountability. And what he did against Sacramento was just, it was unquestioned a disaster. 6 fouls in 1 quarter, so undisciplined defensively. But to come back and to put these stamps on this last game, he showed you that he can turn it around pretty quickly.
Looking at that first quarter, I mean, we don't have to look at it all that much because it was abysmal. But the decision by Coach Jenkins, to put in Yuki Kawamura for a couple of minutes, I am not willing to say it changed the game because CJ is. I look at the stretch in the second quarter, Jay Huff, Luke Kennard, and Jourdain beginning to really establish himself in last night's game and being able to get to the basket however he wanted to do so. But the Yuki minutes did provide a burst of energy into a crowd that was pretty dead. I think we were all trying to regain our footing. First home game of 2025. The team still looking for its first win of 2025. There was a lot of reacclimation occurring at FedEx Forum last night. Yuki comes in. We get another one of those damn proximate foul situations, which I have had enough of this season, where Yuki ends up getting called for a foul when they were challenging something else, and the Grizzlies lose their challenge ultimately. But I'm curious how you saw that perhaps inspiring Scottie Pippen Jr. the rest of the way in that game last night. And perhaps, I don't want to assume what the usage of Yuki was. I think it can have a myriad of reasons, but perhaps how that allowed Scottie to take off into a different version of a game last night than how it began.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad you characterized it like when you brought up the Yuki approximate foul that he picked up. That's the textbook definition of catching a stray, right? Yes. He wasn't out there trying to do anything but guard his man hard, and he ended up catching a stray because of a review. I was surprised that Taylor didn't do that, when back in Sacramento. You know what I mean? I knew Yuki was there. I knew that, well, at that time, he might have still been dealing with the shoulder, so his injury status might have been a little shaky at that point. But giving him a dose of 2-3 minutes just to calm Scottie down I thought was the primary reason why Taylor did it. Taylor won't say it. Scottie Pippen certainly didn't want to elaborate on what that meant last night when we talked to him in the locker room. But I think it served its purpose because the Scottie before that and Scottie after that were two different Scottie Pippen Jr. experiences. And particularly in the fourth quarter, the way he was able to close and be more aggressive. He had a career high 5 steals. So he was doing his thing on the defensive end, but he still needed to kind of calm himself down because he's been one of the reasons why the Grizzlies have had a lot of these turnovers, guards and guys that are reliable to handle the ball so much. These guys have to be a little bit more disciplined. We can't keep blaming it on pace because you're playing more possessions. There's going to be more turnovers. Well, not necessarily. The Grizzlies' turnover percentage is still one of the highest in the league, so they have to cut down on that. And I thought that sent a message to Scottie, but it also did it in a constructive way where I think Yuki provided a momentary spark.
And it allowed late in the game when Scottie had 11 of his 18 in that fourth quarter. At that point, it didn't feel like he was forcing things. There were a couple possessions where he gave up a shot for a better shot. And then when he found his spots to score, and that is what Scottie gives you. Like when you're down 6 players and 6 significant contributors, someone has to score on this team. It can't just be Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think that's one of the big positives of Scottie, and he plays his butt off. Like he got that cut on his face. He was gashed, and he had to go back to the locker room, come back out. But across the board, I love therapeutic being the word of the win for the Grizzlies. I would love to see this team win against a really good team, Mike, and the Houston Rockets come into this building on Thursday. It should be a matchup of the number 2 and the number 3 teams in the Western Conference. I believe the Rockets play the Wizards tonight, and then both teams are off tomorrow, and then they'll play here at FedEx Forum. One of the biggest matchups we'll be looking at is Zach Edey, Steven Adams. The anticipation will be big. It was a tough night for Edey last night. How do you see a potential bounce-back opportunity for him matchup-wise against the Rockets?
Well, that's the reason why, Taylor Jenkins, and you go back to, I want to say it was the Golden State pregame, and I asked Taylor, what's his philosophy in terms of how he, manages the rotation when it comes to his center position. And, basically, he's handling it like a pitching rotation almost. Like some nights when you bring in the lefty, you bring in the righty. I still think, all things even, Zach Edey is the clear starter. But he certainly isn't committed to that when a matchup in game surfaces and an adjustment needs to be made. You know, we've seen Brandon Clark start a career high 18 games this season. Last night we saw Jay Huff start the second half after Zach Edey started the first half. So I think Taylor likes to tinker when it comes time to in-game adjustments. That's the position where he feels like he can do the most and get the most out of. But to answer your question, you know, Zach Edey is a guy that we knew that it wasn't going to be easy for him to be put in the middle of this offensive philosophy that this team has right now. He's not a natural fit for pace and space, but the team does offer change-up opportunities for him. And when you see him in the post or when you see him adapting to the three-point line, that's Zach Edey trying to do everything that this team needs. What you can't teach is 7'4" on the offensive glass and extending possessions. So if Steven Adams is able to go, and he's kind of been in and out of their lineup and their mix all season with the Rockets, but even with Şengün, like Steven Adams and Şengün as a combination, Zach Edey is going to be a problem for those guys because of his physicality. And I think that's going to set the tone, hopefully, for him to have a nice game on Thursday.
Any concern about Zach Edey guarding more athletic bigs like what Lively and Gafford present, those bigs whose whole purpose for being on the court is to stand there and catch lobs, Mike?
Yeah, it is. And even you go back to Sacramento when Lyles got in the game and started knocking down threes, and we didn't have a big that was going to step out there that far to contest that three. That was Jourdain, that was Edey, and some other guys. Draymond Green started shooting threes early in that game against Golden State, and it was hard, for Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson to account for that three. You kind of give up something, and if those guys, if Trey Lyles and Draymond Green are going to beat you because they're shooting threes uncharacteristically, then you almost got to live with that. But Zach Edey has to be a little bit better in terms of being able to find his space and then retreat back to the paint. You almost want to zone him up more so than have him go too far out. But with the way teams are shooting threes and when teams are shifting small, you can play him off the floor. And that's not what the Grizzlies want. What you have to do, though, is in those moments when they're looking at matchups to exploit Edey, you have to be aggressive on the other end and give the ball to him in the post so he can dominate his matchup as well, too. Otherwise, you're just conceding him being on the floor and you're taking him out. So I think that's a work in progress. But his coaching staff, they're certainly looking to figure out ways to keep him on the floor a lot longer where he can be more effective.
Some of the streets have called you Miami Mike throughout the years. And the biggest non-game story in the NBA will be Jimmy Butler until we reach the trade deadline, barring something else popping up and taking over the top spot of drama and transaction. I don't know why I just said it that way. Transaction storylines that could potentially happen. Evan Sidri tweeted out this morning that DraftKings' latest odds have updated the Grizzlies as even heavier favorites to acquire Jimmy Butler, and it was those DraftKings odds over the weekend that I think really got things churning of fans and just the NBA at large looking at Memphis as a potential landing spot for Jimmy Butler. Those odds are up to plus 180. The Suns are at plus 300. The Heat, keeping Jimmy Butler, are at plus 400. Memphis originally started at plus 3,000. So plus 3,000 to plus 180 is pretty significant movement. I know some people put on social media last night that Jimmy Butler may have followed the Grizzlies on Instagram and then quickly unfollowed the Grizzlies. This is where we are at this time of year. I appreciate the Inspector Gadgets out there, the Nancy Drews who constantly have the magnifying glass out. But Mike, as you stand here on January 7th, and as always, we say reportedly, allegedly, hypothetically, we know nothing as it comes to transactions that could occur by the trade deadline. Where do you stand on the Jimmy Butler to Memphis music?
Yes. I gotta let the music play.
Thank you. Give it its respect.
This is being reported, y'all. It's alleged. Allegedly. Not saying it's true. Not saying it's false. It's reported, y'all. Allegedly. Reportedly. It's alleged. Reported. We don't want no fines.
Right here, y'all. No fines.
Everybody say, we not trying to tamper. No. Allegedly. Reportedly. Please don't fine me for tampering.
Okay, we've set the scene. Now Mike can speak, and everybody
Your
knows.
voice is back also.
A little bit. I think I might schedule a voice lesson in the new year. It's been 3 weeks since the 3 months since the laryngitis stole it away, like Ursula.
Yeah.
But alas,
that's a long time. That's a long time.
We don't want you to get aggregated, Mike, because they'll try to find you. We've seen this happen before, so we are being perfectly clear.
And as they say today, I stood on business then, and I'm gonna stand on business now.
Mike, hold on.
Yes.
We've got that moment. Can we play it?
Yeah.
Jacob, play
it. What did you make of Jimmy Butler's look yesterday?
Well, I'll tell you what, out of respect for you doing the research to come up with all the weirdness of Media Day nationally. So it was the Chris Paul. It was
No.
We
are all in Jimmy Butler first, because I was going to do people in new uniforms, which is just always one of the strangest occurrences throughout the season. So I'll get to those. But Jimmy deserves the spotlight. Like, he went all in. He committed to the bit, Mike, and I appreciate someone who commits to the bit.
I do appreciate it, but again, I'm going to bring up that word cringe because I know that 98.9% of the Miami Heat organization was totally uncomfortable with what Jimmy Butler was doing yesterday. Like, completely, like, this is so anti-Miami Heat culture, Miami Heat, what we stand for. Like, I've been around that organization, and I remember how much of a back and forth, all-out war that went on, relatively speaking, behind the scenes because LeBron James wanted to wear a headband, and he's wore a headband all his career. And Pat Riley didn't allow players to wear headbands up until LeBron James came, and so the organization went like it was just this big issue over that. And I remember some other things. Body fat percentage. Like, guys couldn't even show up for media day in the first training camp practice if they didn't hit that point, whatever, on their body fat percentage that Pat Riley instituted from the offseason. So to go from all of that, rigidness and how you go about doing things, you take off the cap as a Miami Heat player when it's time to do interviews after games. You take off your sunglasses. Like, you have to take off some of this bling-bling jewelry. So to go from that to what Jimmy Butler presented himself as yesterday, I was baffled, man, and I know how uncomfortable that made a lot of people because he put the spotlight on him, and it was all about him and what he was going through and how he felt. And maybe that's what Media Day is about, but I know for that organization, it wasn't something that they were comfortable with. I can tell you that for sure.
Did you ever? That was a clip from 2023 when Jimmy Butler showed up as Emo Jimmy to Miami Heat Media Day. And now, Mike, you talk about what the Miami Heat have always been about and Heat culture. We know it well. It is one of the biggest, statements of a team in the NBA. And now it's been a mess between Jimmy leaking that he wanted a trade to Pat Riley originally saying we're not trading Jimmy Butler to then Jimmy saying he just wants to find joy again. Could that be in Miami? Probably not. And then Pat Riley coming back, suspends Jimmy Butler for 7 games. The NBPA is on it, trying to say that it's excessive. And Pat Riley now saying, well, actually, we are open to trading Jimmy Butler. So congratulations on being right. That all might not have been perfect in Miami paradise, city of glam, city of palm trees. But now, where does this go if you had to recklessly predict?
Well, I will say this, you know what I mean? I have to come back and correct one small detail that I said back then. It wasn't LeBron James that had the headband issue first. It was him second. It was Jermaine O'Neal who initiated the headband controversy, and Pat Riley eventually relented. So there is wiggle room for him to get better and to open up. LeBron brought in some other kind of things that forced the organization to adjust to. But having said all of that, this reminds me a lot of, if you remember, and this taking us back a decade or so, but Terrell Owens with the Philadelphia Eagles on the back end of that. When they were a Super Bowl contender, he was sort of at the tail end of his prime, and he became a headache that Philly and Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb just no longer had the patience for at that point. Like, at some point, your antics outweigh your production. And I think Jimmy is at that line right now where for 5 years, the Heat were able to put up with a lot of things that went on behind the closed doors and a lot of things that they allowed him to get away with, a lot of ways that they allowed him to treat people in that organization with his abrasive style. And because he was Jimmy Butler and playoff Jimmy and got 2 teams that shouldn't have been in the finals to the finals, you live with it. But at this point, enough's enough. And, you know, Pat Riley is more sensitive now than he's probably ever been because he's aging and he knows that he only has a few more years, if that, to do this. He hasn't been able to execute the major trade over the last 3 years that he's been able to do previously to salvage the teams. And then, you know, Jimmy is at a point where he's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And when he's supposed to change, he's not changing. And so it didn't surprise me that it got to this point. Now, where does it go from here? I've seen Pat Riley do this before. He suspended Antoine Walker and James Posey because they didn't show up in shape at the beginning of the season, and it was a suspension that was a precursor to a trade. I saw him say and tell publicly, we are not going to trade Shaquille O'Neal. We value his 17 points and 8 rebounds, even though they're declining. We value that. We are not going to trade him. Guess what happened? 2 weeks later, Pat Riley traded Shaquille O'Neal. So we've seen this before. How do I think this is going to end? I think Jimmy Butler is going to be somewhere else in the next 2 weeks. I do not see them bringing him back after the suspension ends. It'll be tough if they do. And you can't just resuspend him. So they either have to deal him or play him. And with those are the two options. I don't think Pat Riley is going to acquiesce and say, hey, let's put this guy back on the floor.
Is Pat Riley too old to be doing this now? Like, is this the straw that breaks the proverbial camel's back, and this is like, all right, Pat Riley has aged out of the game, right? Player empowerment is here. This is it. This has been the Heat have been one of the last stalwarts to fight against it, but this is the moment right here. Pat Riley kind of, for lack of a better phrase, grabs the ball and goes home, so to speak.
It's hard to say that it's aged out, like he's aged out of it, CJ, because when you look at the rings, I mean, the rings are there. Like, the final appearances are there. So
not recently, though.
Right.
Not recently.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how recent you want to say recent is. Like, they were just in the finals against the Denver Nuggets, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The final appearances are there, but the last championship was the Big Three era, wasn't it?
Yeah, the last championship was the Big Three era. So
and that's been a while.
It has been a while. I think more telling, more so than the finals appearances and the championships, has been Miami's inability to execute the trade that they wanted. From Bradley Beal to Kevin Durant to Damian Lillard to all of these guys across the last 5 years, they've been unable to get. And that's not been Pat Riley's MO. He's been able to close deals. So that might be different now. And his ability to say, hey, I hold all the cards at the end of the day. This is how we're going to do it. That might not bode as well. This guy took on LeBron James and was cool with LeBron James walking, right? He took on his own franchise icon guy that has a statue out in front of the arena, Dwayne Wade, over $4 million in terms of a difference of what Dwayne wanted per year versus what the Heat were willing to give at that point. They decided to pay somebody else that's no longer in the organization, and Dwayne walks. So Pat Riley, this is his MO. Is it too late? Has he held on too long? I think this might be his final stand. So you give him one more and see what happens after this Jimmy Butler deal. And if this doesn't do it, then I think that might be it.
If the notification came out, if the Shams bomb dropped,
the
Memphis Grizzlies have acquired Jimmy Butler. Who and what would make you feel comfortable with that being the direction that the Grizzlies go, as it would clearly symbolize a pushing of all the chips in? This is a win now year. That is the kind of move that you make if you think you have a real chance at winning it all this season.
If and this is for any deal right now with all of these names, because Jimmy Butler isn't the only one. There's several other big name guys, Cam Johnson, obviously Brandon Ingram, Zach LaVine, and all these other guys. But any deal that does not cost you Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Ja Morant, and Zach Edey, any of those four, if you can still have those four, then everybody else is on the table. And if that's what it takes, it does. But it's going to be very expensive to do that. And I don't know if the Grizzlies are ready or willing to go that deep into the tax to do it. But we'll see. A championship, man, is rare. You got to go in when you can.
Mike, thanks as always for joining us. We'll see you next time. We'll see you Thursday for Grizzlies Rockets.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
That was Mike Wallace. You can find his latest at grindcitymedia.com. The internet sleuths continue. Jimmy Butler has followed Ja Morant on Twitter. I don't know if it happened before. Someone posted it as if it is a recent update. So the following of the followings will continue onward, and we will be talking about this extensively until the trade deadline in February. Anyway, we have to take a quick break. When we come back, Will Coleman will join us. We will talk to him about the Memphis Tigers win over North Texas. They are 2-0 in AAC play this season. They are up to number 19 in the latest AP poll. Will join us to talk the Tigers when we come back.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaron, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three! Take three! Bain for three. Bingo!
This man Bain heating it up.
Blocked by Jaron!
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Morant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing at FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke.
Every day for the last 2 years, you have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Vol. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
ESPN put out a list. Top 30 best pro wrestlers under 30 in the world today. Number 1, Dirty Dom. Number 2, MJF.
I think Dom is deserving to be number 1. I think he is probably, like I said, one of the greatest heels in the last 10, 15 years. Like you said, he can't talk on the microphone.
The fans love it because they feel like they're a part of the show.
And that's the best.
Without their booze, he's not the best heel.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. That's what happens when you have a live studio audience and we don't have a little light that tells people we're talking here. But we have Will Coleman in studio. Happy New Year, Will.
Happy New Year.
I'm still saying it. The people told me I had to stop on January 3rd,
At
but
least
I
you're
won't
not-
be stopped.
No,
the people told me that I had to stop, but then I was at the game last night and I saw all these people for the first time, and it's an appropriate greeting when you are seeing someone for the first time in 2025 to say Happy New Year.
I don't care how many
if
times
if
you
the
say
first time, I don't know, let's throw somebody out. Megan Triplet comes down October.
Happy late
next
birthday, Megan.
I love happy late birthday, I guess. October, Nets and Grizzlies are playing. I hadn't seen Megan all 2025. It's October.
No, that's different. It's
Do I
like
say, hey,
if you
Happy
see
New
that
Year?
person in the first 2 weeks of January,
Okay.
Don't you think?
No.
Fine.
Just as long as you don't put an S on it, you know, I love
New Year's.
I
love
love all my
Year's.
people, but Happy New Year's and Kroger's.
And
Kroger. Shout out to the Kroger.
See, you guys here don't
I
have a
can't do-
Nordstrom, but that was a big one. Nordstrom's was a big
yeah, we
one.
do. We still do Nordstrom's though.
We just throw unnecessary S's on a lot of stuff, and I just
just
can't.
want the plurals.
It's
It's
terrible.
okay. Hey,
It's
you want to
awful.
know what you don't throw an unnecessary S on? Wins for the
Yeah.
Memphis Tigers, 2-0 to start AAC play as they took down North Texas. How do you explain, Will, beating FAU on their home court by 28 points and then coming and really struggling to barely beat North Texas? They end up winning by 4.
Man, I will say I think North Texas is kind of solid.
Okay.
Like I don't think they're as bad as FAU. Obviously, last year's team, you know, deservingly so. Everybody left, took advantage of the transfer portal. I think the only person that I saw that I recognize is Big Fella. He played for Michigan now. Yeah. He killed us last year. I mean, dude. He went crazy last year, but. You know, they had to re-up and redo the things like that. But I know, you know, different conversation for a different day. But that's the transfer portal can hurt programs like that. You know, it's a blessing and a curse. But anyways, I think North Texas got a solid squad, and they came in and they handled their own, you know, did what they could to try and take us out. But we ultimately got the win. You know, obviously Haggerty's crazy 3 is what won the game. Once you see something like that, it's all right, game over, man. Even the coach laughed. It's like we're done, dude.
When the reaction is a laugh, it's like a laugh of exasperation.
Yeah,
like there's
man,
nothing else you can do. And Haggerty was awesome. You talk about how the portal can be difficult for a team like North Texas. Obviously, the portal has been huge for Memphis.
Yeah.
But you look at someone like PJ Haggerty, who was averaging 8 minutes at TCU last season. And this year, now he's back-to-back AAC Player of the Week honors, had 27 points, hits the big 3, has been one of the best scorers in the country. Just how is that a testament to how the right situation and the right coach can completely change a player's trajectory?
It's night and day. Night and day. Complete 180. It just, like you said, to your point, it's a telltale sign of, man, that coach obviously wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing last year. And it's real easy for somebody to, that player's not that good, that's why he's on the bench, yada, yada, yada. But I think the transfer portal, some of the positives that come from the transfer portal is situations like PJ Haggerty. He's in a situation, he got sold a dream, obviously, to come to this school. He get there, it's not as great as he thought it would be. He's not playing, he's on the bench, and then he come and somebody pours into him. You got a staff that pours into him, and he looks like a totally different player. You know, and it's like, where'd this guy come from? And in PJ Haggerty's mind, he's like, man, I've been this guy. You know, I was just with a crappy organization. I've been him. This been my identity. I just hadn't been able to show anybody. But when you got a guy like Penny, who's a player's coach, it's very easy for somebody like PJ Haggerty and everybody else on the team to shine like they're supposed to.
It was a bit of a tough game for the bigs and the physicality of North Texas. Penny Hardaway talked about it after the game, both with Musa Cisse and Dane Danger. What can they learn from a game like that and ultimately get better as they continue on through conference play?
I just think discipline. And I don't think so much, well, I'll say both of them. Danger and Cisse have a huge tendency to reach and swipe at balls as if they're, 6'2", 6'3" point guards. And it's like, no, like it doesn't work that way. You can't get away with the same fouls that Haggerty will as a big, and the same thing vice versa. Like you can't, if you're switching, they're athletic enough and long enough to switch on the perimeter and stuff like that. But when you're swiping at balls and stuff like that, we get into foul trouble and you got to stop. I know Penny has gambled a couple times and playing both bigs and playing guys with 4 fouls, but I think we're very much a tournament caliber team. And once we get to the NCAA, we're going to get exposed. Or when we get to the tournament, we're going to get exposed. When we have bigs that play like that, you're going to have vets who take advantage of small things like that, and we'll be up the creek without a paddle.
Memphis is now up to number 19 in the AP poll. They have the most quad 1 and quad 2 wins of any team in the country. Do you think it's fair, the national perception, to still maybe have a slight bit of hesitancy in full-on believing based on past falling apart moments in conference play for the Tigers? Or do you think this group has shown in these first 2 games, like this is a different kind of team?
You're always going to have that hesitancy. As much as I love my Tigers and as biased as I am.
Those scars run deep.
Yeah. We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball. It just happens. It's basketball, and especially now. You know, I don't think you can just look across the board and just see an extremely just one dominant team like it was before all this transfer stuff used to happen. I mean, slip-ups can happen for any program. And conference play is when things get dicey. You'll sneak up on a team and they'll come uppercut you when you're not looking, and you look up, it's 2 minutes left, you down 8. You're trying to fight your way out of a brown paper bag, and you can't, and we dropped one.
Mm-hmm. With the scoring for this team, Haggerty, Hunter, Rogers, it's the 3-headed monster. The one returner for the Tigers, Nicholas Jourdain, he has struggled to get going offensively. He's been effective in other ways, rebounding, defense. What have you seen from him, and do you think there's another level of how he fits with this group that can still be unlocked?
I think it is. I think with the team we have, I think he has an identity as an energy guy, almost like a Brandon Clark type, you know, finish around the rim, alter shots, deflections, rebounds, you know. I'd like Nick to finish more. Nick don't like to dunk, man. I just don't. He just don't like to dunk the ball. I don't know what it is. He finishes around the rim, but, you know, I think there's a spot for him, you know, just energy. Like I said, running the floor. He runs like a deer, running the floor, sealing, finish around the rim, stuff like that. But I think there's another piece to Jourdain. He's not shooting the ball well. He's an exceptional shooter at the big position. I think he's just in a little rut right now, and I think once he finds his groove again, we'll be fine.
When's the last time you dunked? Do you still dunk out there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I will say I let my buddy down. CJ came to watch a basketball game. I let him down. My
How
performance
so?
was pissed. It's just my performance was pissed.
Did he play?
No, he watched.
Oh, he's just
They wouldn't let
watching.
me on the court.
You were just scouting it out?
Yeah, I was just seeing, like, okay, is this a grown-up league I can be a part of? And I saw Will trot up and down the court 3 times, like, nope, I do not want to be out there if Will Coleman is playing in it. No.
Do you know how often Chris tries to get me? Because after my whole Achilles
I saw you played again. How was that?
I did not play.
When you didn't y'all have the faculty, the joint downstairs?
Yeah,
in the
but I wasn't allowed to play. I wasn't allowed. They didn't even want me around it. It was like my sheer presence was the potential of upsetting the balance of everybody else having a good time. They're like, oh, Jess is here, get her out, get her. I was like, I'm not playing, don't worry about it. But Chris always wants to find a group to run with. Like when we lived in the Tri-Cities back in Washington, he would go to our gym and occasionally just run and pick up games. But here in Memphis, I'm like, I cannot risk you, which is unfair. I feel like I'm gonna be a bad parent in that sense. Like I don't wanna be a helicopter parent because I'm being a helicopter wife. I'm keeping my husband from being great. I'm not saying he should play with you.
Can he shoot the ball?
Yeah, he can.
He's white.
He's a good little athlete, man.
Well, if he can, I got a spot for him.
Don't
Chris,
tell him that.
Will, I'm trying to get on the team.
Come on, Chris and CJ, I got a spot for both. I got the perfect league for y'all to come play. I'll just,
but he's also
I'll
like
coach.
a little a-hole on the court, and it gets, I'm just worried he's gonna get in a fight.
No. If he be on my team, ain't nobody gonna fight. Come on, let's be serious.
30-something years old.
Come on, man, we grown men.
He turns into something. He's a competitive monster.
Chris, I got you. I got him.
I said, Will, I box out. I don't rebound. But I box out.
That's all we need.
You put that booty in the boot?
Man,
that's all we need.
I said a mean screen also.
That's all we need.
That's all you need.
All we need.
I can't go left or right.
Okay, so you've been going through it. You've had some health fixer-uppers for the last month. But have you been able to watch any other college basketball?
Man, I be trying, but so much stuff be going on at one time. Between my daughter playing volleyball, I coach a little basketball team, and watching my Tigers. If I get freed up, I'll try and watch some other guys. But I'll say since we've started, I hadn't really been able to actually just sit down and watch everybody else play some basketball. But
you gotta watch Auburn's offense.
Yeah, Auburn's
fun as hell to watch.
Auburn, Tennessee.
I've enjoyed watching Kentucky this season.
Kentucky,
the SEC.
Arkansas. I watch Arkansas.
They're picking up the slack for the football woes of the year, but they are a strong basketball conference this season.
Not an SEC team, though.
Who?
UConn. watch UConn. You saw them once.
Yeah, I saw them
Marquette's fun again this season.
Marquette is.
I caught one of their games.
I'm still trying to, I watch Purdue for the sheer entertainment of them. I say it every year. I sound like a broken record, but
they make them in factories, Will.
I mean,
make them in
Louise,
factories.
dude, they find one every year.
They make them.
Every single year. It's like they plant them joints, and they just, when they grow them, they just send them straight to Purdue, dog.
My husband texted me and said, I cannot shoot. I can rebound and defend and pass. He can shoot. I'll gas him up.
Okay.
I've seen him make some big shots.
Okay. All right. That's what you
our one-on-one games back in the day.
Wait.
He just shoots over me.
Basketball.
I beat him once.
Who is he playing against? Like, we're getting a scouting report from Chris, and I feel like Will and I thought he was playing against other dudes.
He was. Oh, we're gonna turn this into a gender thing.
No.
A short people thing.
A Jessica thing. Like, if he's dominating you. Okay.
I beat him once.
Oh, well, I don't know if I want somebody who lost to Jessica on my team.
Wow. I used to be a baller.
Shot caller.
20-inch blades on the Impala. Caller getting tonight. Some of them got man tonight. I hit the highway, making money to fly.
Highway, when I gotta get better play, a better way, yeah.
That was the most beautiful serenade.
Hey, we got you, man.
Thank you.
We sing, we cook, we play basketball. We do it all, man.
What more could you ask for?
We do it all.
All right, we'll catch up with you next week. See if the Tigers keep on winning.
They gotta keep winning, man. We can't drop the ball. We got to go into the conference undefeated, and just those quad ones and quad 2 wins will be extremely helpful if we can just take care of business in conference and get to the tournament, man.
Well, next up is East Carolina here at home on Saturday, 1 o'clock. Everybody
them the
get
scary
out.
ones. I kid you
They're
not.
all
Them the
scary
ones.
ones.
But those
every
where
conference opponent at this point, based on past history and just the nature of how difficult it is to run a table in a conference.
I understand that, but the ones, the least expected ones, like everybody thinks, oh, it's just ECU. It ain't gonna be no. I'm gonna tell you right now. I hate to say it because I just don't like talking about my Tiger fans like this. It ain't gonna be nobody at the game. No one's gonna come. It's gonna be, the attendance is gonna be low, and it's hard to play in a form, without your 6th man.
Do you want to guess East Carolina's ranking on Ken Palm?
114.
Oh, that's generous.
I'm going 130.
Oh, that's generous.
Where are they?
177. Buried right between Wright State and Hofstra.
Oh my God! See them the teams that come in with nothing to lose. You know that, man. We probably ain't gonna. Then the rim look this big. They start shooting from the parking lot, making everything. And then you look up, you're going into halftime tied. We gotta take care of business like it's another UConn, FAU. Some of these where we just dominate.
You heard it here first.
Tier.
East Carolina, just another UConn. Come out, Tigers fans.
I didn't say that. I said you gotta have a mentality like you playing one of these squads.
Don't worry. At least it's not Charlotte. They'll come later. They're ranked 234th in Ken Palm.
Oh, here we go. Oh, gosh.
Let's see if I think that's the bottom. Oh, no, sorry. Tulsa's at 287.
Oh,
you got to win them. You got to win them. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it is TV Tuesday. CJ and I will get into what we're watching. He watched the latest season of Squid Games. I finished the latest season of Shrinking. We'll hit some stuff from the Golden Globes that we didn't get into yesterday.
Ooh.
Will? Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, you got it?
What's her name?
Okay, great start.
Well, she always face card never declined.
Oh, and now she's engaged.
But what's
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's my girl name? Stone, the pixie cut, man.
You like that?
Baby girl was wearing that pixie cut, dog. Yeah, she was the pixie cut, dog. The long hair, I wasn't really, but the pixie cut, woo!
If you guys are gonna thirst over Emma Stone, just you
Come
wait.
Come on, Emma Stone wasn't bad with the pixie cut.
I'm not a big pixie cut fan.
Man, she was top notch with the pixie, dog.
Yeah, it was a good look. She has the face card in order to pull off a pixie cut. If I had a pixie cut, I would look like a small little lad who sells papers.
Emma Stone got kind of like that box, kind of.
Yeah.
So she can wear that.
Yeah,
You got a cute, nice little round face.
Thank you so much. I would look like a little boy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will thirst over multiple men in the next
What
segment.
about Andrew Garfield?
Want to talk about
Okay.
I cannot stop thinking
Jacob,
about
just throw
this
the
clip
card up.
of Andrew
Because we're
Garfield
not gonna
putting
break.
the glasses
We'll
on
be back.
during. Okay, fine, we'll be back.
She cuts. She
The
cuts.
glasses moment of that.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Somebody who really has done what they were supposed to do, or maybe wasn't expected to do, is Jalen Wells, the Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
What you're seeing right now is him showing that, hey, no matter where I was going to go in the draft, I was going to be ready.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Talking about Andrew Garfield at the Golden Globes.
He's always been kind of meant to me. You know? But you and I have very, very different tastes in men. I like the sexy
clear.
ones, and you like the
well, we can come to a common
ones.
The butterface one.
Yeah, everything's fine but his face.
His face is a darling.
Oh, okay. If you say so.
Beautiful. Oh my God. You saw that clip of Andrew Garfield
I
putting
hadn't
those
seen the
glasses
clip.
on with the chest out, and you're saying this man right here, you're calling him fine?
I'm calling him your 6th grade chemistry teacher.
Oh my God.
Like you got a thing for those types of dudes.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not. No.
Well,
I can't believe you're thirsting over this.
This moment happened, and Chris was like, how come every guy that you're obsessed with lately either has a British accent or an Irish accent? And I said, don't overthink it. We met in London, so it's basically the same thing. Like, you're basically from across the pond. Just take it into effect that, like, right now, I'm not thirsting over, like, a Michael B. Jordan. Like, Chris and Michael B. Jordan, you can't really find the common denominators there, except for two sexy men, of course. Excuse me. That's fine if you don't want to thirst over my husband. I understand.
Oh wait, no,
that
Chris
might
is
make a
sexy. I thought we were
lawsuit.
talking
Michael
about
B. Jordan.
I thought we were talking about Garfield. I thought it was Michael B. and Garfield.
I was saying it's a
no,
little
yeah.
more
Chris Luther's sexy as hell.
Thank you.
I can't wait. We got
Thank
a
you for
wedding
the
to go to.
respect.
He's gonna put on a suit.
Oh, he's
Boy,
gonna
and
dance.
that trunk, like Chris's lower body is
Yeah.
incredible.
He's ripped a lot of pants
Woo.
at a lot of weddings. Every wedding is a game of will this suit make it through the drop it low
Hell,
moments.
Chris is carrying a wagon.
He's been tasked with that Indian Greek wedding that we're going to.
Yeah.
He is one of the dance leaders. Yeah.
So wait, he's gonna come in doing the traditional. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, remind me to tell you off air.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my joke to share.
Wait, is it a joke? A cultural
about Chris,
joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, then,
yeah.
We'll
Anyway,
save that.
I don't want you to put it in your notebook.
I'm waiting. I'm itching. Just you guys wait for this new bit I got.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Anyway, Andrew Garfield, we can both come to the conclusion. Jonathan Bailey, wicked, disrespected at the Golden Globes, but Jonathan Bailey continues
Now
to serve.
that is a sexy man. That is a beautiful man
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
And you said Jonathan Bailey, like who the hell is Bailey? Wicked.
No,
oh
you
no.
know.
Oh gosh. I'd be
Yarrow.
if he was
Look at that man.
if he was singing on top of my table in the cafeteria, I too would be swooning.
I'd transfer.
I'd be, oh my gosh.
I wouldn't be able to focus on my studies.
At all.
At all.
At all.
Anyway, those were the biggest things from the Golden Globes that we didn't get into when they happened.
People in the chat need to grow up. There's nothing wrong with admiring a sexy man.
No, it's they worked hard. And at an award shows, people dress up to be ogled. Like Zendaya served as well as the Golden Globes.
She always
and she
does.
just casually, they didn't announce their engagement. I love when celebrities do this, and she just shows up with the ring on finger, and people are starting to zoom in. Like, is 2025 going to be an absolute hellscape after all, or are Zendaya and Tom Holland getting married? Because, you know, those are the options, like world ending, but Zendaya and Tom Holland being engaged could certainly save everything. And it turns out he proposed over the holiday break.
Is that the biggest celebrity it couple right now?
I think Timothy Chalamet and, is it Kendall or Kylie? I can never keep them
I
straight.
didn't know they were together.
Yeah, and they were there.
All right, so you got Chalamet and a Kardashian
Kylie.
/ Jenner.
Kylie Jenner.
All right, so you got Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. You got these two and Zendaya and Holland, Swift and Kelsey.
So those are all the young ones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who's still, like Nicole Kidman is everywhere right now, so you're constantly reminded that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban are a couple.
I didn't know they were a couple.
Oh, yeah, they've been married for a long time.
Okay. Yeah, those are done though, right? So pick.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Once women turn 50, we phase them out.
Yeah,
no
like get rid
longer
of
pay
them.
attention.
We don't care about that anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, celebrity it couple right
Yeah.
now. Are those the three in the running? Is there? Am I missing
Selena
somebody
and
out?
Benny.
Okay, who's Benny?
It's a great question.
Oh, all right, good. Finally, one of
He's
these
a
pop
singer.
culture people you don't know either. You be making me feel old
Benny
and
Blanco.
alone over here.
Benny Blanco.
That sounds like he's related to Domingo from SNL. Like, who is this dude?
No, his name is Benny Blanco.
Oh, okay.
He received 11 Grammy nominations.
Great, good for him.
I can't name a song.
No doubt in my mind, he's supremely talented and gifted. I'm just unaware of who this person is. So you're
He
gonna
wrote
put,
a cookbook.
Come on, man. So you're gonna put those two in there.
It's called Open Wide. That's the name of the cookbook. Open Wide, a cookbook for friends.
Don't do that. Don't do the
I'm sorry,
open
it's not
wide
my
with
fault
hand
that you're being
gestures.
disgusting.
I'm being disgusting. This man's book is called Open Wide.
Correct.
All right,
His
that's my fault.
albums are called Friends Keep Secrets and Spank Rock and Benny Blanco are Bangers and Cash. I'm sure it was a good album.
Okay.
Any other celebrity couples at the moment?
I'm asking you. You're who I come to for these types of things.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
But like even them, they've
And it feels like we're reaching a pinnacle.
aged out of
Yeah.
the it coupleness, right?
true.
Like there's a newness.
We had Sabrina and Barry Keoghan, but they allegedly broke up.
Okay.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, there we go.
And boy who drank the bathwater in Saltburn.
And did other things in Saltburn.
Correct.
Yeah, that guy in the drain. Oh gosh.
But I think they're done.
Okay. I would be too after I saw Saltburn.
Any others? That's all I can think of.
Yeah, being an it couple, there is a newness to the it couple.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you stay together for a long time, I think this is the issue with the Kidman comparison. you stay together for a while, we're no longer interested in you because we've talked about you to death. Now you can just go be a couple. You're not the it couple anymore.
Like, this was published on September 27th, 2024, and this just shows like how you age out and how it couples don't have, like, we're not talking about the it couples of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston and then the shift into Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Like, that had the people in a hold. Now it's like Bella Hadid and Adon Buñuelos.
So you don't know him either?
No.
Yeah.
Tawa Bird and Renee Rapp.
Okay.
They're both singers.
All right.
Selena and Benny. Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper.
Even
Sophie
they've
Turner
been together
and
for a while.
Peregrine Pearson. Like, who is that? That's not a real person.
He's also related
That's
to
not a
Domingo.
real person. Olivia Rodrigo and Louis Partridge. Like, are we doing the 12 Days of Christmas? Like, I don't know who these people are. So, those are your ones. You watched the new season of Squid Games.
Yes.
Did you like it?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. The game is what the game is. All right. And if you don't know, Squid Game is a show that follows people who are thirsty for money and need money or perhaps want money, and they're willing to risk their lives, at first unknowingly and then knowingly risk their lives and risk the lives of other people in their quest to get it. And I feel like I'd have to go back and rewatch the first one. I watched the second one without rewatching the first one. And I remember the thing that stood out to me in the first one was how everybody was such an individual. It's my needs, my needs, my needs. That's my money up there. That's my money. That's my money. Well, in this one, it isn't that's mine. It is, hey, we are together in this. We need to make sure everybody can make it out of here alive. That is the goal now. The goal is no longer, let me get all of the money. The goal shifts and becomes, let's get as many people out of this hellscape as humanly possible. And I think the show doing it from that sort of an angle is another interesting, I don't want to say indictment, but sort of indictment about the human condition and the human experience. The first season tackled it from an individual standpoint, the human condition. This one is tackling it from a community and a collective standpoint. And I think they do a really good job of doing that. There's a mother and a son that get involved in season 2 and their relationship. I think the show did a really, really great job of that. Trans people are a big topic of conversation. We got a trans character in there, and seeing how, hey, we got to get everybody. Everybody has value. Everybody matters. Not you though. Get away from us. Type stuff, right? Like that's really important and great to see. There's a game that gets played, and I'm not giving anything away. There's a game that gets played where you're on a team, and everybody on the team has tasks to do in the allotted time. You got like 6 tasks, 6 people on the team, 5 minutes to get through the gauntlet of tasks. It's games, it's childhood games. Like, that's what you've got to do. And everybody is watching you compete to try and not die. If you lose, if you fail, they're shooting you in the face in front of everybody. And it becomes a thing where the people watching are cheering everybody on. Even though if they win, that's smaller amounts of money that you get. If they lose and they die, you get more money from them dying. And it's I get chills thinking about it. I got chills watching it. It felt very much like a March Madness where everybody's on the same team and we're all cheering for you. Like, you can do it. Let's go, do it. That was an incredible moment. The season ends abruptly. All right. It ends. Sometimes seasons end on cliffhangers, and that's fine. This one felt abrupt though, right? Like I was just watching them, and then it ended. I think it ends episode 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly. It ends, and I'm like, okay, where's the next episode? Why is this? This is an odd place for it to end. We are going to get a new season of Squid Game, which to me will feel just like a continuation of the second season of Squid Game. We're getting it in 2025. That's this year. Now, March of 2025 is a whole hell of a lot different than December of 2025, right? So I hope that they drop it sooner so that we can ride this momentum all the way out and not lose the momentum that season 2 had given us. All in all, I thought it was a superb season of Squid Game, and the third season is the final season. We're not going to keep doing this. So I like when shows end once they have the thing they want to say said. It's incredible.
Does it bother you? Maybe bother isn't the right word. Irk. That they're commercializing Squid Game so
Very much. We have lost the entire point of it.
McDonald's is doing Squid Game toys giveaways. Domino's is doing a Squid Game commercial. When we were in New York, there was a Squid Game experience that you could sign up for, and there were like a line of kids waiting to go in because it's billed as a game, but it just feels nasty to using that. You don't understand the point.
That
maybe
may
that's
be
the point.
And that may be the point is,
I guess.
Hey, human existence doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to hoard resources in the ways that we do. Please, I would say stop making money off of it, but since when do we in America stop making money off of things, right? Like there's a very poignant message in season 1 and season 2, and I'm going to assume season 3 of Squid Game, and you cheapen it and you lose it when you start making money off of that product, and people stop realizing what it is trying to say on just a very surface level. I hadn't gotten deep into it at all, but just surface level, that's the stuff that's sitting there. But again, that is the whole point of Squid Game.
It feels so icky.
Yes.
On the opposite side of that, we just finished the most recent season of Shrinking, and it is one of the most earnest shows on TV right now. It's really sad. It's a tough watch. Like it deals with some pretty serious stuff.
For my notes, what season is this?
3 or 2? No, 2.
Oh, wow. I thought you had that in your head. I didn't mean to stop the schwab.
That was a weird...
Yeah, what season?
3. We're on season...
Okay.
No, 2. I wish there were 3 seasons. And I would assume we'll get a 3rd season. This was season 2. And it's a long season. It's, I believe, 12 episodes. Or maybe 11 or 12 episodes. The performances by Jason Segel and Harrison Ford this season are really, really good. And what this show does in talking about grief and forgiveness, it almost acts as therapy. Like watching it teaches you things about how perhaps you could approach life differently, relationships differently, horrible things that happen in your life differently. And it's just a really well done show. I think some people would watch it, and almost like what happened with Ted Lasso, and I believe some of the creators are the same, and Brett Goldstein, who played Roy Kent on Ted Lasso, has a role and a much more prominent role in season 2 of Shrinking. And so there's some connectivity there. But I think some people might think that it's like too like woo-woo. But I think that's a
what does
comment.
woo-woo mean?
Like too messagey. Like
okay.
It's supposed to make you feel too much. Like it doesn't.
Some shows are supposed to do that.
Yeah.
If you want the mind-numbing, just entertainment stuff, we have shows out right now. The Neighborhood, great show, does that. I think Abbott does that, where it's just, hey, I'm just going to sit down and watch. It's not going to be a real like deep message to these sorts of things.
This one isn't even like deep.
Yeah.
It's just real. And not entirely. Like these are very wealthy therapists. They all have beautiful homes. I'm like, how are all these people so rich on this show? Like they all live in the most beautiful spot in the world. But like Harrison Ford's character, he's an older therapist and he's dealing with aging and being diagnosed with Parkinson's and the advancement of Parkinson's and how that's taking away from parts in his life. One family is continuing to deal with the grief of the mother of that family dying in a drunk driving accident. She wasn't the drunk driver, but she was hit by a drunk driver. And like, how do you deal with forgiveness and what layers are you able to forgive someone? Obviously, the grief continues and it can be a process, and some people process it differently than others. I don't know. It's just a really good show. It's like the kind of show that you just kind of wish everybody watched, and not everyone's going to watch it, and that's fine too. But Apple TV, they did last week a free session of Apple TV where you could catch up on any of the Apple TV shows, and they continue to just put out hits. Like they are putting out really good shows. I'm so excited for Severance to come back in 10 days. I think it comes back January 17th. But yeah, watch Shrinking. It's a beautiful little show.
Nothing deep needs to be said about this, but hot damn, I watch Bookie, and I find that show hilarious. Like, usually I can contain my laughter when watching TV shows. I can go, and I think, oh, that's funny, or I think, I should laugh. That's pretty funny. Bookie makes me laugh out loud against my will. It's on HBO Max. It's one season is completely done. They're in the midst of season 2. It follows 2 bookies in LA as they go about their bookie lives.
Bookie business.
It's 30 minutes. It made me think of me and Chris.
Are they going to have a Grizzlies
funny.
Jimmy Butler storyline?
Maybe this week. Who knows? It's some good stuff.
They should add to it. I think I'm going to watch Bad Sisters next. Okay. A lot of people have recommended that on Apple TV. I'm on my Apple TV game. I had some friends recommend Laid on Peacock.
Yes! Oh, yes. That's the one with the chick who we started
From Everything Everywhere All at Once.
We're 4 episodes in. For those who don't know, I'm sorry for jumping in here. It's a chick.
No, you're excited. That excites me.
Boyfriends have been dying. So people, not boyfriends even.
Her ex-boyfriends.
People who she's had sex with, because some of these dudes aren't boyfriends, they're just hookups, are dying one by one. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on there. There's some good stuff in there. Yeah, watch Laid.
I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention in TV Tuesday, WWE made their debut on Netflix last night. It was Raw, and every time a big WWE event happens these days, I get a little bit of FOMO. Like, I wish I was a part of it. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them wrestling. And Bennett Doyle had it on his phone at the game last night, and he was having a great time. And I saw all the reactions of people on social media, and they were amped about it. I guess it looked good. It sounded good. A standard was set. I just feel like I'm too far behind.
You're not. You can hop in. It's like a soap opera. Just hop in. Just hop in.
I'm not even built to hop back into soap operas. Like, I haven't watched General Hospital in decades.
Is it still around?
Yeah. It's the only one left. How dare you?
There's a new one coming.
A new soap opera?
I think it's the
Heights. A new
daytime?
daytime?
Something like that. Yeah, it's coming.
Well, I remember the days of Port Charles well, but not well enough. So WWE, if you had a great time watching Raw, I'm happy for you, and I'm a little bit jealous of you. We will be back tomorrow. D'Angelo Williams will join us. You never know what we'll chat with him about. We'll catch up on some stories from the week we haven't yet gotten into, start discussing the college football playoff semifinal games that are coming up, wild card weekend in the NFL. We'll get into all that. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
I gotta hurry up and get to this meeting, but before I do, did you see the pandas yesterday?
No.
You didn't see the pandas?
Where?
Stop the music. Stop the music.
Where are the pandas?
You didn't see the DC pandas?
Jacob,
show the video. No. Jacob, bring it back, baby. Jacob's got it. We're gonna see these pandas running around in the snow. Look at them.
Oh my God.
Look at them.
They are having the time of their lives.
Look at it. Come here, you're all in my shot, baby, but it's all to the good.
It's fine. It's all good.
Look at the panda. Like, you shouldn't touch animals. We talked to Peter about that. Wild animals are wild for a reason. They're not to be domesticated. Leave them the hell alone. But like, even my cold, dead, animal-hating heart looks at this and says, I kind of want to cuddle a panda. I know I shouldn't, but I kind of want to. Look at them just waddling all around.
They were throwing snowballs in D.C. yesterday.
Look at this slow motion panda.
Oh my God!
Just a little flip.
Roll.
Look at it.
Does he want to go inside? Is he cold?
No, it's a panda. All that blubber. Having a blast.
That's a frolicking panda.
Oh, they are some
That is a frolicking panda. Wow, I'm so glad we came back for this.
If you're listening on the podcast, go find the pandas. You are doing yourself a disservice. Look at this. It's at the National Zoo in D.C. There's a clip coming up.
A panda in a tree?
Yeah, well, you know, pandas climb trees.
I know. But in the snow, it just means more.
Okay, an SEC panda, apparently. There's a clip coming. This is the one. This is the one. Oh, come on. All right, I got a meeting to go to.
He's having the time of his life.